down south, the train has left the station in terms of RTI because we are very rule governed. There was kind of a standing joke this summer up in Sackville when we did our Summer Institute. Every time someone raised their hand with a situation they had to deal with, I was able to say, we have a law or a rule that deals with that. And it was because we're so rule governed down south of the border. So what the federal government said to the states was that it said two things. It said local school districts, and this is the first time a federal legislation has ever said this, can use responsiveness to intervention. They always talk about states. They never give any power to local school districts. This is the first time they've ever said local school districts can use RTI in their schools. Then the second paragraph after that says state educational agencies, and in your case, it's your provincial educational agencies, cannot get in the way of schools using RTI. So they laid out two things. You're allowed to do it, and the state can't tell you no. And that's how strong the support is from our big government to pull this off. I Googled special education IEP meeting and got this. Is that what your folks look at when you get to give parents? Wasn't that? I had to include it. I thought it was great. Well, today's meeting is no different from most of the meetings that I have. There were no general educators in the room today, and that's not a problem. But as the model becomes more familiar, the audience changes. So as we go on today, you're going to kind of see that there's something going on here. How many people like movies that have an interesting plot twist? Yeah, you go to the movie and then like 5 minutes into the end, it's, whoa, you get it? Or if you're with someone who doesn't, you got to explain the whole thing. But anyway, so that's what RTI is like. So here's the plot twist in RTI. It's a general ed initiative. And up here, your roles are already blurred. You're poised. I get the sense already that you're down south, we have very rigid, demarcated roles. So you folks are in good shape already because you don't have these artificial rules breaking you apart. But this is everything we're going to talk about today. When you start looking at it, when you walk away, you're going to say, this is stuff that Mrs. Jones, the first grade teacher, has to do, or Mr. Smith, the second grade teacher. So you're going to be kind of bringing this back, hopefully, to your schools and say, hey, this is something you should check into. I think you'll find it helpful. All right. This is the data, and on the way up, we had a car conversation, and I know this represents your data, and it represents, but this is Vermont data about when kids start to get intensive services due to their reading challenges. Now remember, it's an entitlement down here, so you have to get really bad at it before you get services. So it's called the wait to fail model. So what happens is things creep along, and you see around the fourth grade, and a phone conversation on the way up. It was agreed that up here at fourth grade we start to see really significant challenges start to emerge with kids in their cheekers. And then it kind of levels off, and then it drops. What do you think's happening here with the drop? Do you think we cured those kids? No. What do you think happened? All of the above. They dropped out. They're no longer learning disabled because, you know something? They've experienced frustration all this time, and when they get to high school, they say, I'd rather look bad than dumb. So what do you think they get coded? We have codes. They get coded as emotionally disturbed, behaviorally disordered, because now they're acting out in order to avoid. So we actually don't fix them here.